Welcome back, everybody, to another headbanging episode of Yeah No No Yeah. In this one, we're talking about System of a Down, one of my favorite metal bands. It's a recommendation I had for us. And yeah, it was just a great episode, a lot of great discussions, so we hope you guys enjoy it. As always, check out the timestamps for the description if you want to jump to a certain point. Check for the poll. We'd love for you to interact with that. And keep an eye out for our link trees if you want to find our social medias, and the link to the Patreon if you want to help support the podcast. All of the donations go to creating our episode artwork for each episode, and it would be a big help. We always appreciate the support. So yeah, we hope you guys enjoy, and let's get into it! How we doing, boys? I've been drinking coffee all day, getting pumped up for this episode, actually. So, I mean, I've been at work since 6 a.m. and I've been listening to System of a Down for like 9 hours straight. So I'm kind of like fucking wired right now. A little much for my brain. So I'm ready to go.
I had an 8-hour shift yesterday and I listened to their entire discography again. So...
I just did it
It's easy to blow through, it is.
Nothing to complain about, really. Life has been okay. I'm seeing the smile next week. That's the only new thing with me. And doing it Sunday.
I hate you so much.
Sorry.
How am I? I'm fine. Yeah, I'm good. I'm very tired. Yeah, I went to Sydney and it was fucking horrible, but visa got approved. Woohoo.
Oh.
Hell yeah.
There you go. There we go.
Yeah.
Is that 2 new soundboards?
Yes.
Oh shit.
They're
We
both
spoiled
Quinn
it first.
themed.
We spoiled the surprise.
Your good friend Mike Flanagan.
Following Mike Flanagan, not my friend. I wish he was my friend.
It's just so sad.
Oh my. Disabled people becoming just perfect again.
Oh, lovely.
Sorry, what was that?
Oh, yeah.
One of my many mistakes, probably. I have so many slip-ups like that to where I just, like, say something fucked up, but I don't even realize it's fucked up. But yeah, patrons, so Kath, at Kath Fern Way, thanks for still being a patron.
Thanks,
Thank
Kath.
you, Kath.
And Julia, thank you. Moving __ pictures.
Thank you,
Thanks,
moving
Julia.
__ pictures. And thank you, Sarah's Popcorn Chat.
Thanks, Sarah. You're the
Thank you,
best.
Sarah. It's a thank you, Amy, at Film Ardor. No, wait. Is it?
Oh.
I'm not.
Fuck.
No,
I
I'm
broke
not
my
doing this
streak.
again. I'm not doing this again, man.
Thanks, Amy.
Thanks, Mom.
Thanks, Liam's mom.
Thanks,
And
Liam's mom.
thank you, Graham, Quinn's brother.
Thanks, Graham.
Thanks, brother.
I'll do the poll results. But
Is there any?
Yeah, I might find an old one because for the last one it was the FlyLo Frequencies, and I asked, "What is your favorite Flying Lotus album?" Yep, there's one. One guy said I haven't listened to any of it.
Thanks for that, guy.
Hopefully the episode got him to listen to Flying Lotus, because Flying Lotus is great.
Maybe. I'll just pick a random old one real quick and say to relate to this, I guess right now, I'll pick episode 15, which was Zero Energy Infinite Movies.
I have
That's
energy.
the name of it. I don't know how this came up, but it said, "Do you believe in aliens?" That was the question, the poll, and we had 7 votes.
Isn't that the
Oh my
same
God.
question I asked on Galactic Gallivanting?
7 people, all 7 said yes, they believe in aliens, which is crazy. So
That's the right answer.
Vote more, you knobheads.
please check out the poll. Even if you don't even know an answer, just put something at least. Have it feel like you're participating. But yeah, so what have you guys been watching or listening to?
Can I
Or
start?
whatever.
Yes, you can
Yeah.
start.
Alright, I'm getting this out of the way. I listened to an album.
Yeah.
So did Keelan. We both disagree on it. And it's
Oh.
called Vultures 1
Oh,
by
I know exactly what
Kanye
you're
West
saying.
and Ty
Oh.
Dolla Sign. I think we have to discuss this, Keelan. I think you're exaggerating a little bit.
No, I did not like it at all. I'm not exaggerating. It's not even a art from the artist thing. I just think it's a fucking mess of an album.
But there
honestly.
are bangers.
No, it mostly just really annoyed me or just bored me to tears. Like,
You
I
not
thought the
hear paid?
production was like... Oh, I hated that. I
Fuck
hated
you,
that
no.
song.
Seriously, paid.
It's so
I'm just here
good.
to get paid.
It is kind of hard to separate now because there are like so many references in the album to, you know, his anti-Semitism.
He takes it a bit too far.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My opinions on the music has nothing to do with that. I just think the music was just like straight fucking trash. I thought the production was ugly and muddy. The lyrics were, they're either just like uninspired or very fucking annoying. I hated the sample of Dogma, Big Titted Bitches Don't Fall From the Sky, that song.
Yeah, that was awful.
Oh, that was horrible. And, oh god, yeah. I wasn't a fan of it at all. It's the worst thing Kanye has ever done, period, I think.
I can't agree. I gave it like a 7 out of 10. I did enjoy it more than I thought I would. I think it's better than Donda for sure.
I mean, I re-listened to Donda, and it was better on the re-listen, I thought. So like,
I honestly did like the production, and I think it was like kind of at least consistent throughout.
I think it's the only album in like the past couple of years that I've listened to that I've given a 1 out of 10. So that kind of explains how much I hate it, I suppose. The anti-Semitism is a part of why I hate it, but that's not all the reason I hate it. You know, he does address it in the lyrics, and I hate that. I really fucking hated it. It's just awkward, and I don't know why he went for it.
Well, there are points where I feel like it works well enough, honestly. Like the lyrics as a whole.
Okay, Hitler. Jesus Christ.
Oh my god, whatever. I can't even defend it. Well, I thought Paid, Burn, Fuck Something, and King were really great songs.
But yeah, I give it a 1 out of 10.
7 out of 10.
I watched Madam Web. It was the worst, in my opinion.
I can't wait.
I'm still doubling down. I'm
No
still
spoilers,
doubling down
please.
on it.
I want to see
No,
it.
don't spoil it.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what
Not
I
even
want
much
to
to
see
spoil,
it.
but sure, I won't spoil what there is. Yeah, well, dude, the trailer literally shows everything anyway. But yeah, I thought it was like the worst superhero movie ever, and like I didn't even have fun with it. Like I thought it'd at least be dumb fun. I was like so ready to leave the theater, and I was so embarrassed to be watching it by the end of it. And it's rare I feel like embarrassed to be watching a movie.
So do you prefer
Just the ending
Morbius?
is 1,000%. I like Morbius was
all I
fun.
wanted to hear.
Morbius is flawed, but it has a lot of fun, memorable moments. This movie is just flawed. Like I did not find it fun. I found it annoying. I found it just like
I think I would probably laugh quite a lot at the dialogue if I saw it, because I've heard that it's atrocious. So
I've seen a
maybe.
few clips, and I found the clips quite funny, so I'm looking forward to it as a so bad as good thing.
yeah, so am I.
a lot of people have been enjoying it as that, and I don't know why it didn't even do that for me. I don't know. I hope you at least get some dumb fun out of it. I have like a 13-minute rant on Instagram about it if you want to watch that, where I go in depth. But otherwise, I am ready to forget about that movie.
It has made me kind of like Dakota Johnson a bit more, honestly. I think it kind
Really?
of has made
Just the
most people
interviews?
in a way.
She was good in that Cha Cha Real Smooth or whatever that movie was.
She was.
That
Yeah.
came out like
She was
last
really
year.
good in
That
that
was
movie.
that was a good performance, but I don't know. She hasn't blown me away in anything yet. So
Oh, I don't think she's like a great
Yeah.
actress, really. Just as a person, she just seems so chill and laid back, and it's hilarious. Like how much she doesn't care.
Yeah.
We're going across all the mediums here. I played a video game. I beat a video
yeah.
game in the past 2 weeks. I finished Silent Hill 2, which is a franchise I've always wanted to get into, but I've never really found the chance to get into them. And I was going to get into them with the first game, but the first game kind of feels like shit. Because, you know, it's a PS1 game, and it feels worse than like the old Resident Evils if you've ever played them.
Oof,
But
yeah.
so I decided to start with Silent Hill 2 because I heard it's a standalone story, and so I was like, fine, we'll go for that. And it blew me away. It is instantly like secured a spot in like my top 10 games of all time. It gave me so much.
That and Yakuza recently, goddamn.
I only tend to finish games that I really connect with, it seems, but like, yeah, Silent Hill 2 just gave me a lot to chew on, like, because like the whole hook of Silent Hill is like, you know, the monsters in the game represent like the mental state of the character, and I love that because there's a lot of interpretation you can do with like the design of the monsters and where they come into play in the story. It clues you more into who your character is. And the soundtrack I've been listening to non-fucking stop.
The soundtrack is great. I haven't even
Yeah.
played the game, and I've listened to the soundtrack a lot just by coming across it.
There's lots of people who've done that. Like the soundtracks are on their own are phenomenal, but like after playing the game, it's just reached another level of connection to me. I mean, the combat's kind of shit, but like you're not in it for the combat. You're in it for the atmosphere. You're in it for the story, and even the dialogue is like awful. Like it's a early 2000s PS2 game, so like the voice acting and the dialogue isn't the best. It's kind of to be expected. No game really had good voice acting around the time, apart from like GTA 3, sorry, and fucking Metal Gear Solid 1 probably. Anyway, I'm going to become a very annoying Silent Hill fan, I think, because I'm playing 3 now and it's just as good as 2. So yeah, hell yeah, I love Silent Hill 2. It is a fantastic game, masterpiece. Play it if you can. 10 out of 10.
Hell yeah. And that remake's coming out too eventually.
Oh no,
right?
it looks
I think
dog
that'll-
shit. It looks
I haven't even
awful.
seen anything about it.
Yeah, it's out
haven't even
this
seen
year. It's not like a case of like Resident Evil 2,
Resident
where like the
Evils?
original is
Oh.
great and the remake's great. It seems to misunderstand what makes Silent Hill Silent Hill. That's the best way I
Wow.
can explain it.
I'm back to watching movies, slowly but surely.
Hell
Watched
yeah.
They Cloned Tyrone. I enjoyed the fuck out of that shit. God damn, it's such a shame that it was like kind of around at the same time as Barbenheimer and it got like pretty pushed out and stuff. I don't think that many people got to see it, but I think it's getting more recognition now. Really fucking unique, and it just balanced everything so well. Like the sci-fi, the humor, everything about it was just so good. The soundtrack was like fucking great. Like so many good songs. I can't wait to listen to like the score on its own as well, because I was like noticing that in a few scenes. Like it's just so like well put together to each scene, and it's a beautiful looking movie. And by the way, I have never seen Jamie Foxx be this funny. Hilarious
Really?
in this movie. Just every time he comes up, I cannot stop fucking laughing. He just plays this like really like outward pimp. He's so fucking ridiculous. Teyona Paris as well. She was like amazing in it. I've only seen her in the MCU, but she was like really good in terms of like bouncing off the others with like comedic scenes and stuff. It was really good. And John Boyega, he's amazing.
Nice.
Jamie Foxx does have like one of my favorite line deliveries of all time in Django, where Samuel Jackson's like, I count 6 bullets, I count 2 guns.
It's not the full line. Say the full line.
No,
Yeah, what's the full line? What's the full line?
not saying it. Not saying
I
it.
said the fucked up quote of last episode. You need the next fucked up quote.
You know, I
There's
have
a fine line
turns.
between racism and ableism.
I have like a sign up there because
Oh.
I have like little random like quotes around my room that my cousins like did for me. I think when I was away in America, one of them is from Django. It's like when they come across that guy in the snow and he's just like, had a birthday yesterday, got some cake. It's pretty good.
I've wanted to see They Clone Tyrone for a while. I've been meaning to watch it. I've heard nothing but great things.
It is really like a lot
You
of
loving
fun.
it has encouraged me to watch it a bit sooner now.
I definitely don't think it's like a wholly unique movie. It definitely has like inspirations from other sci-fi things, but like the story beats are just kind of generic, but everything else around it is like really well done and well handled and cared for. I would give it an 8 out of 10. I think I'd probably give
Holy
it
shit.
higher if I watched it again, because it is just really enjoyable, and it's also one of those movies I could probably rewatch at any time and enjoy.
I finally started listening to 9 Inch Nails. Finally.
I feel like they're a band you would like.
I like them a lot. Yeah, I really like them a lot. I wish I got to them sooner. And the album that really stuck with me the most, I think, or that I liked the most, was their debut, Pretty Hate Machine.
It's a banger.
So that's the one I'll talk about. It is a fucking banger.
I think it's one of their most like rough feeling albums.
It is, and I kind of like it for that. After, I've listened to some of their newer stuff, like songs here and there, and I can tell they've kind of polished up their sound, but I definitely like that kind of really raw industrial kind of sound. And I mean, like Head Like a Hole obviously is a banger, but my favorite song, which will probably remain my favorite, is Terrible Lie. I just love that fucking song. Like, I think Trent Reznor's vocals on the chorus of that are just so badass. Terrible Lie! Oh my god, I could just fucking listen to that over and over. And the last piano synth or whatever, like melody that comes in for the last minute of that song is like, that lives rent free in my head. That shit's awesome.
Oh yeah.
I don't think it's on like the actual bass album, but did you hear Get Down Make Love, like the cover?
Oh no.
It fucking slaps. Listen to it.
I should listen to that. I think I only listened to the 10 songs. I would give it a 9 out of 10 right now. I really liked it a lot.
It's a really good one.
Yeah, and I look forward to listening to more of their stuff.
I finally watched Paul Verhoeven's Starship Troopers, which was kind of inspired by, Helldivers 2 came out and people have been talking about it and they've been like, oh yeah, it's kind of like Starship Troopers the game. And I was like, I should probably fucking watch that movie finally. And I did, and it's a Paul Verhoeven movie. It's great. Like it's everything you could want from a Paul Verhoeven movie. Like it's ultra violent and it's also very sharply witted with its like a political satire, and it's kind of been annoying because I've seen people straight up not get the point of the movie, and it's just like, man, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? Like it's kind of blatantly obvious what the movie is satirizing, and some people are just like, no, it's just about killing bugs and like serving your country and stuff, and it's just like, no, you could still probably enjoy it as at face value as just like a pure action movie, because the action is fun. Like, seeing them kill bugs and get like fucking slaughtered in masses. It's It's a lot of fun. The gore is cool. The fucking effects hold up really well. Like, especially like the early CGI. I like how they blended CG with practical effects, which is what everyone should be doing these days, but no one does it because it's easier just to make like a CGI model or some shit. But it holds up really well. And the performances were like, they're like soapy performances, but it works for the movie because like everyone's like ultra hot and like everyone's perfect in the movie. Basically, they're like perfect humans, and it kind of makes sense for the performances to be kind of stilted and dry, and I like that about it a lot. I do genuinely really like Casper Van Dien in it. He plays Rico, the main guy, and Neil Patrick Harris is fun in his few scenes. But yeah, it lived up to the hype. I'd give it an 8 out of 10. Really enjoyed it.
Good shit.
Hell yeah. Probably same score for me.
Lower tier of Verhoeven films for me, but still I love like most of the stuff I've seen from him, really.
I need to be impressed by him,
It's
I
his
think.
cheesiest.
L, Robocop, and Benedetta. L's probably the best one, but even then it's like probably a 6 or a 7.
Total Recall's good. That one's good too.
That's my least favorite.
Really? It's probably, I mean, I don't love it either, but I still like it. But
I want to rewatch it, but like I think I give it like a 5 out of 10 when I saw it, but like the other like what 4 films I've seen from Verhoeven I love.
On the plane yesterday I watched No Hard Feelings, and it was funny. It was
Fun little film.
Yeah, it's a fun little solid comedy. It feels like, yeah, just one of those like early 2000s ones, really, like in its style of humor and stuff. I really enjoyed Jennifer Lawrence in it. She was like a lot of fun, and she really committed
funny
to it. So yeah, it's a funny movie. Like, not all the jokes really grabbed me that much, but for the most part it was really enjoyable. I don't think it's anything too special, but it's just a fun little comedy that you can watch and
Yeah.
probably never watch again.
The only scene that really annoyed me, that stuck out as being annoying to me, was the man-eater scene where he just plays it on the piano.
Yeah.
Did not like that scene.
It was
I didn't like that either.
strange. Yeah.
He's just gonna
It's a
play
little
the full
random,
song. Okay, this is meant to be a funny movie.
Just kind of random.
Don't they play that song like 2 or 3 times?
Yeah.
I don't know. Like once on the beach or something.
it's a
I
banger.
can't remember. It is a banger. I fucking
yeah.
love that song. I think we listened to that song
We did.
the last time you were here.
Yeah, on
like
the way
drive
home.
to or from the airport or something. Yeah, from picking up Kath, I think. I don't remember.
Well, yeah, it was that and Out of Touch, and I was singing Out of Touch very loud and very drunk. So
Hollow Notes is a fun group to sing.
yeah, you know, I've actually like heard their whole discography, by the way.
Oh, you've heard it all?
Yeah, but they really only have like a few good songs, to be honest. Like, most of it's just the same shit. Yeah, No Hard Feelings was fun. I'd probably give it like a 7 out of 10 right now.
Then Peacemaker has dropped on Mortal Kombat 1 today, the
Hell
day
yeah.
we're recording this. And in preparation, I felt like finally watching, like from the beginning to the end, Peacemaker Season 1.
I cannot believe you
'Cause
finished it before I did.
Back when it first dropped, I like watched a few episodes and I fell off for some reason, but I think this really pushed me to just like fucking finish it. And I mean, I started from the beginning again, and man, I just binged it in like a few days. Like, it was, I
think I've seen the
really
first
liked it a
5.
lot.
There are 8 episodes, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
It's so fucking fun.
I really liked it.
It's
It is.
amazing.
It's fun. It's funny. Like, I mean, maybe this is just my like high coming off it. Maybe this is like my recency bias, but like honestly, it might be my favorite thing of the DCEU right now. Like, just my favorite thing that's come out for the fucking.
I wouldn't blame you
continuity.
at all.
I mean, because it is just.
I
You know,
completely
it's
agree
just-
with you.
But
my
it's
favorite
such a
DCU
unique like
thing.
concept on its own as well. Just like, you know, delving into
Mm-hmm.
this character after the Suicide Squad. It's
Because nowadays, like, when they make a spin-off, especially a series of, like, a side character in a movie, I'm like, are you, like, really? Are we
Yeah.
really doing this? But it does. It just works for, like, this one.
I can only hope the same thing works with the Penguin.
I hope that's... I don't know, but
We'll
I
see.
hope. You know, I thought going into it that, like, okay, Peacemaker's... John Cena is just going to carry the show. Like, I'm not going to care about anything else. But no,
way.
all the side characters are so much fun.
I
like,
love
I almost like
Vigilante.
some of them better. Vigilante is awesome. Like, he is like one of my,
Vigilante's the
he's
best.
probably my favorite part of the show. Like, he is consistently fucking hilarious.
That one like jail scene with him where he goes off at those guys. Holy shit.
Oh my god. I've been just like watching that clip on YouTube
It's
like
so
ever since I
good.
finished the show. It's so good. It's so fucking awesome.
I love when
like,
he's trying
his
to break
character's
like
great. I want to
through
see
the
more.
window as well with the trash can.
Yeah.
Fucking funny.
Yeah.
It's crazy how some obscure fucking B-list character is a better character in that universe than fucking Batman and Superman and shit.
Yeah.
It's so weird. Yeah, it is.
I love all the
But,
shitting on
I mean,
Batman
that's-
as
I
well.
think-
Like when he's talking to that guy on his dad's front lawn. And obviously, like, one of the best fucking intros of all time.
Oh,
The intro is
Oh,
awesome.
it's so good.
Yeah.
Fuck. I could never skip that shit. It's so good.
Apparently for season 2 they're doing like a completely new intro.
Oh.
Oh.
I mean, that's probably
Yeah, so I'm
that's
excited.
unique. It's a good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, as long as they can keep that same fun, goofy tone, then I'm sure it'll be good.
Need another Wigwam song?
Yeah.
I think most of the side characters are really cool. Like I really like the tall fat guy.
Yeah.
What's his name? What do they call him?
Some weird name. Isn't it like...
Oh,
Yeah.
Diebeard?
Fuck, I can't...
Diebeard.
Economist or
Diebeard.
something?
That's it.
Diebeard.
No, Diebeard.
Yeah.
But yeah, his name's
Yeah,
Economist.
Diebeard.
I love Harcourt
I
as
like
well.
most of the side characters.
Harcourt's great.
Yeah, Harcourt is a
Yeah.
good character as well.
And the fucking guy
Yeah.
who plays High Evolutionary, he's awesome.
Yes, him.
Yeah,
cool
he's
too.
good too.
Yeah,
But yeah, James Gunn, everything he touches turns to gold, I think.
kinda.
Almost everything. I just don't like Slither. I don't like that with that. I just don't
You
like
can forgive him. It's been
But other
ages.
than that-
I like Slither.
Other than that, I like pretty much everything he's done. So yeah,
I'm sure he's evolved.
he is great. Oh yeah, he's definitely evolved. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He's definitely evolved.
You can't really
but-
tell the same person who made Super also made Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3.
It is
I know,
just,
right?
It is just
Super's
great
a
as well to
banger,
have
too.
like someone like that in that industry that is so passionate as well. Like he really is passionate for the source
Yeah.
material and wants to make good shit. Love the
Yeah,
guy.
like his entire slate of DCU stuff is just like, there's Superman, and then there's just like random shit of like characters you've never heard of. It's just like, oh yeah, that sounds awesome. And because James
That's what
Gunn's
they should
behind
be
him, it's
doing,
just like, yeah, I'm in.
A 9 out of 10. I'd give it a 9 out of 10.
I watched a film called A Simple Plan. It's one of Sam Raimi's least known films. Like, not a lot of people have seen it, it seems.
I do want to see.
And I'm kind of disappointed about that because it was awesome. Like, it has a very simple premise that has been done before, where like three guys find money and they're like, are we going to take it? We're not going to take it. And it does very interesting things with it, I think. Like I said, it's been done to death, but I think the way it's done in this film, it was very, very interesting and engaging. And the performances as well are fantastic. Like, Billy Bob Thornton and Bill Paxton are both incredible in it. I love the cinematography. Really good looking film. Like, it's kind of hard to make snow-based films look bad, honestly, but it does have kind of a Fargo feel to it as well, albeit
I was
less
about to
less
say,
comedic.
not to interrupt you, but like I've seen it too, and it really, like, my takeaway was it was a total like Coen's vibe. Like throughout the entire thing, I was getting a Coen's brother vibe.
Yeah, but apparently Sam Raimi did ask the Coen brothers, like, what's the best way to shoot in snow? They're good friends, like they used to be roommates, I think. Yeah, no, I think it's a very underseen, underappreciated film, and I think most Sam Raimi fans should watch it because it's a damn good watch. I really liked it. It would give it an 8 out of 10.
Mini topics, if we have mini topics.
Okay, I'll do an interesting bit of Irish news. I'm gonna see if I can find like an article on it. So, for the Leaving Cert, the Leaving Cert is like the Irish, I think SATs is what they call them in America. We have to do Leaving Cert to get into college, basically, you know. But for English class, we have to study movies. When I was in school, I studied The King's Speech, and in 2026, they are introducing 2 new movies into the curriculum: Barbie and The Banshees of Inisherin. I just thought that
Holy
was
Lord.
weird set of films to choose to study. Like, I think, I like Barbie. I'm the one person here who likes Barbie, but to study? Really? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know about that. Study
Like
how to make a bad movie.
I'll
Okay.
fucking kill you. I like that Banshees is there because, it's an Irish film, first of all, and there's also so much you can get into. And with the purpose of studying a film is so in the exam you can compare it to another text. So like a book or like a play that you studied or whatever. So that's really the purpose of this. And I thinking of like books and like plays that I've studied, I don't see how Barbie would correlate to any of them, but Banshees, like, it feels straight up like a play,
I don't think like
kind
film
of the tone
students
of
are
it.
going to be making anything very similar to Barbie as well.
Oh no, it's not film school. It's just normal school.
Oh gosh, well that's even stranger.
That is odd.
Has anyone seen the Willy Wonka Experience in Glasgow?
No.
Someone advertised, a Willy Wonka Experience for like the whole family to come to, and it's meant to be like a magical event, and it's £35 a ticket, which is quite steep. And this is what they ended up getting.
Oh my god.
That?
What?
Yeah,
That looks depressing as hell. It looks like in a warehouse.
it literally wasn't
How
a
could you ever
warehouse.
be
It
like
literally
proud of
wasn't a
this?
warehouse.
What?
That is an Oompa Loompa.
Oh my. Look at that. They've got like bottles of whiskey and shit on the left. You have to get, I mean, no wonder be drunk to enjoy this.
They give out like, you know, a singular Wonka jelly bean at the end of the tour and a quarter of a cup of Tesco lemonade, which is very funny. The organizer for the event seemingly did everything in AI. Like he planned the event in AI. A lot of the art there was AI. Like there's some like fucking flags on the wall that were just like AI renditions of like a Wonka like land.
Oh my god.
It's just insane how you can get away with this shit. Like it had like a decent enough turnout weirdly. Yeah, everyone who's gone has just been furious and there might be police intervention.
Yeah, get that shit out of there. It's like really embarrassing.
Like they couldn't even, yeah, they couldn't even have painted that bitch orange. Like, come on. What?
Seriously.
Like it's just zero effort whatsoever. They couldn't even put down like
It
a
looks
green
like it's in the
carpet
back
or
of a
something.
fucking
Like,
train station or some shit.
oh yeah, they hired like Willy Wonka actors, and one of the actors has actually come out recently and spoken about it, and he's just said, yeah, it was kind of a shit show. Like I was like, the first red flag for me was when I was hired as Willy Wonka, because I am not Willy Wonka. I don't look anything like Timothy Chalamet. So it's just it's a weird shit show altogether.
I mean, the only thing I could think of is just that I saw a really interesting trailer recently. I saw the TV Glow, that new movie that's coming out from A24.
I'm really excited for that movie.
It looks
I'm not watching the
really
trailer.
like actually unique, like really unique. I don't know what it is about it, but it's just like the entire look of it just it hooked me. Like I'm fucking ready for this shit, whatever it is.
Jane Schoenbrun's the director. She directed the film We're All Going to the World's Fair.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it,
Oh,
but
yeah,
I've
I've
heard
seen
pretty good
that.
things about it.
I've seen that. That's a weird movie. That's a really weird movie, so I bet this is another weird one.
It
It
looks
has a weird cast as well.
It looks like it's gonna be Justice Smith's like breakout moment, kind of. Like I've really never been that impressed by him, but he looks like he's probably gonna be impressive in this.
He was actually really funny in the D&D movie. The reason I'd heard of the film in the first place is because it was announced that Phoebe Bridgers, Snail Mail, and Fred Durst were cast in it.
Yeah.
Oh, Fred Durst, hell yeah.
And Caroline
fucking
I gotta
Polachek
see
is
it
helping
now.
with the soundtrack.
Is she?
Yeah.
I didn't hear that. Hopefully Fred Durst fucking does a song for it. That'd be...
He better.
that'd be
Dude,
dope.
that's hilarious. Now I'm interested. Because anything
Fred
that guy
Durst
After
does.
the
in the movie.
Fanatic, I don't want anything else out of
Yeah.
that man.
You don't need anything else. You can't get much better than that. The reviews for it are like phenomenal. Like it premiered at Sundance, I think, and it's like nothing but 5 out of 5s from what I've seen from it. Could have a masterpiece in our hands.
I mean, I didn't watch like the whole trailer or anything, and I didn't watch it with sound even, but like some of the visuals in there, I was just like, fuck, what am I looking at? Holy shit.
Not good news, boys. An American Psycho modern remake is reportedly in development.
Oh.
So, yeah. And if I'm reading the description here, it says, according to Lionsgate is reportedly developing a modern remake of American Psycho. Per the report, Lionsgate is looking to reinvent Patrick Bateman for modern audiences, specifically to appeal towards a Gen Z crowd.
This has to
I
be
mean-
like a joke.
I don't know.
Like they
The-
have to
the
they have
original-
to know that would piss people off.
But I mean, Hollywood is so out of touch, and if they see one thing that was successful like 20 years ago, they're just going to try and repeat it just to make money. So, you know, they're just dumb, and they know people are going to see it out of curiosity, probably. I think, I mean, obviously, it's
I'm
stupid,
fucking
but-
not. I'm not doing it.
The original appeals to Gen Z. Like, it's bigger now than when it came out, you know?
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
Like, it's
in a-
mean to
it-
death.
Yeah. I mean, it appeals to like the whole Sigma fucking literally
Yeah.
me shit. The Gen Z thing, yeah, that is kind of weird. Like, I don't know what to
But
expect. I mean,
It's
they're
it's
gonna
kind
replace. They're gonna replace Huey Lewis in the news with Ice Spice or something. I don't know.
No, that would go
kidding.
hard. That'd go hard.
No.
The weird thing about it is, like, the original is so pointedly, like, a critique of, like, 80s, like, machismo culture, you know?
Yeah.
Which is,
Yeah.
like, why would you want to update it? Another thing to add on to, because I read earlier that they announced a remake of The Naked Gun as well. I'm sort of optimistic for it. They have Liam Neeson as Frank Drebin, so
What?
he's Leslie Nielsen's role. It's being directed by the director of Hot Rod and Popstar, so I think it could be at least fun.
It could work, but American Psycho, like, I mean, it was
No,
2000
American Psycho
as
is like,
well.
don't
Like, it's
fucking
not
touch it. Yeah.
that far back.
Exactly. It's only been 24 years, I guess, at this point.
Chris Rock's doing the Another Round remake. That came out 4 years ago. There's no time limit on when you can
Dude,
remake a movie.
that's a whole nother thing. That's just stupid. That's the dumbest thing ever. But I'm more upset about. I mean, I'm equally upset, honestly, about those. But
Let's just
whatever.
stop
I guess they've been
remaking
doing this
things.
for
How about
years, remaking. exactly.
Who would you guys cast as Patrick Bateman?
Dude, you
Quinn.
know they're gonna cast Timothy fucking Chalamet. You know they're going to.
Alexander Skarsgård. I feel like he could pull it off. I
He
feel like
would
he's
pull it off, yeah.
But I don't want another
He
movie.
could.
I just don't.
Yeah. But I guess
Bale just nailed it.
if we're getting it either way.
how would they do the business card scene? Would it be like showing off their TikTok pages?
I was gonna make that joke. Yeah, they're showing off their TikTok reels or dances.
And they're
Let's
following.
see Paul Allen's dance. Anyway, yeah, it's just so dumb. But thought I'd have to bring
See
it up.
Paul Allen's dance.
It's him doing the floss, and he's like, "My God, look at that floss."
Do you think they'll be doing it like beat for beat, kind of?
I bet they'll follow, like, I bet they'll do callbacks to the original. Like, you know, you're gonna see him kill somebody with an axe. You're gonna see
There's
him
gonna
do
be
the
so
whole
many
fucking
cringy callbacks.
raincoat music. It's gonna be just endless callbacks. They're gonna switch stuff up for sure. but, I
Vultures
mean,
one of his most accomplished albums.
I'd like that. I'd rather see a fucking
No.
remake or like a remake or sequel with the original cast, if anything. I don't care if they're older. Just bring them. If you're gonna do this, bring them back. But they wouldn't
I
do
don't
it.
want that.
I
either.
think I'd be okay. I think I'd be interested if they adapted the American Psycho musical into a film.
Yeah, that's at least.
Yeah, why
Unique.
not? At least they're
Better
switching
idea.
it up more. Yeah, like Joker 2, and fucking make it a musical, I guess. I don't know.
Apparently, it's not a musical, which
What,
saddens
Joker
me
2?
greatly. Yeah, apparently it's not. There's just
Well,
a
that
few
was
songs.
misadvertised. Because that's
Yeah,
what
they
they
really
fucking banked
hinged on
for
that.
it,
Yeah.
but They really pushed that. Yeah, they really pushed that whole musical thing.
I hope I'm
Whatever,
wrong, but I heard it was just like, oh yeah, there's like 2 or 3 musical numbers, and that's about it. It's not even really a musical, but I hope it's just like full-fledged, like La La Land or some shit.
This isn't like a bit of news or anything, but it's a little. Sometimes we bring like little fun things into it just to bring up. Yeah. I was laughing when I was like looking at this at work, and I don't know if you guys are gonna find this as funny as me, but do you guys know what the Clear Channel Memorandum is?
No.
I can't say I do.
Okay, well I didn't know either, but because I was looking at the System of a Down's like wiki just to brush up on like introducing them, you know, and I came across like how Chop Suey is on some list called the Clear Channel Memorandum, which is apparently after 9/11 happened, then radio stations. Yeah.
I think I know about this, yeah.
Like this was a big thing apparently to where, and I didn't really know, to where like as soon as 9/11 happened, radio stations cut off certain songs from ever being played like for a while after the attacks because they felt it was just not the right time what this is. So the Clear Channel Memorandum contains songs that in their title or lyrics vaguely refer to open subjects intertwined with the September 11th attacks such as airplanes, collisions, death, conflict, violence, explosions, yada yada. So basically
That's a lot of
anything
songs,
that they
probably.
felt was yeah, it is.
Yeah.
And I look, I shouldn't find this funny, but I was looking through the list of songs and the titles of them were I was laughing.
It's been enough time. We can laugh at it.
It's been enough time we can laugh. And I'm an American, so I can at least make these jokes like, yeah, it happened here. But I figured I would just start reading off. I wanted to just read off some songs that were prohibited from ever being played on the radio because they felt it's a little too soon. So we've got Duck and Run by Three Doors Down, which I haven't heard that
God.
song. Down by 311, I don't know that song. A lot of AC/DC songs. So we've got Dirty Deeds Done Dirt Cheap, Hell's Bells, Highway to Hell, Safe in New York City. I didn't know that was a song of theirs. Shoot to Thrill, Shot Down in Flames, TNT, some Alice in Chains songs, Down in a Hole, Them Bones, Sea of Sorrow, Rooster, which I don't know why that's included, but
Just
I
that
don't know.
entire Dirt album.
No Smoke Without Fire by Bad Company. What a Wonderful World by Louis Armstrong. Oh yeah, and like celebratory songs were prohibited too. Like Celebration by Kool and the Gang, you couldn't play that on the radio. What are some other funny ones? Hit Me With Your Best Shot by Pat Benatar. And Love is a Battlefield by Pat Benatar. What else?
I
Yeah.
think the only one I knew from here is that the music video for Rollin' by Limp Bizkit was pulled from MTV after 9/11 because they filmed the video on top of the World Trade Center.
Oh yeah, they did. I saw this too. Yeah, saw a comment on a video on Instagram, and it said this was 9/11 was the second worst thing to happen on that to the World Trade Center, which is like the Limp Bizkit hate.
amazing.
Anyway, In the Air Tonight by Phil Collins.
The drums sound too much like gunshots.
Yeah.
That could trigger people.
Holy Diver by Dio. The End by The Doors. Bodies by Drowning Pool. Knocking on
God.
Heaven's Door. Learn to Fly by Foo Fighters. Hey Man, Nice Shot by Filter. I don't know that song. You Dropped a Bomb on Me. Bad Religion. Spirit in the Sky. Not Spirit in the Sky.
Oh
That
no.
wasn't a simple plan.
The list is endless. I mean, Benny and the Jets by Elton John. Rocket Man.
Jesus Christ, just anything vaguely related to aviation in the slightest. What about Three Little Birds?
I bet that's on here somewhere. I don't know. Lenny Kravitz, Fly Away. That's a great song. Crash Into Me by Dave Matthews
Oh
Band.
my
Live and Let
God.
Die by Paul McCartney. Oh, some Metallica songs. I gotta read the Metallica songs. Enter Sandman. Okay, I guess.
Huh?
Fade to Black. Harvester of Sorrow. Seek and Destroy.
Yeah, they're
just
playing
the whole
Harvester of Sorrow
discography.
on the fucking radio.
Head Like a Hole by Nine Inch Nails. That was pulled.
Ah.
Blowing in the Wind. Leaving on a Jet Plane.
What?
Oh my God.
Oh no.
Burning Down the House by Talking Heads. That was pulled.
Fuck off, that's a banger.
And then I think one of the biggest ones that was pulled was Jump by Van Halen. You know, everybody jump.
I wish they'd pull Jump nowadays. Fucking hate that song.
I know, it's overrated. I think Van Halen's overrated, but
It is an annoying
Yeah.
song. That was our most edgy mini topic in a while.
yeah, getting into the main topic. So I have been listening to the shit out of
To the
System
shit
of a
out
Down.
of.
That was barely a sentence. I've been listening the shit out of System of a Down, and yeah, it made me want to recommend it as the next topic because no better time, I guess. And yeah, so I guess I figured I would do like doing a little introduction for them, first impressions, thoughts on the band as a whole, and then get into their albums. Since I sure as hell will not be able to do them justice, then I'll read it from their Spotify page, actually. A little description for
No
people
chat
that
GPT,
maybe
like
aren't too
Chat
familiar with them.
GPT.
You're not as
Yeah.
lazy as I am.
System of a Down, striking a balance between 80s underground thrash metal and metallic early 90s alternative rock, Armenian-American quartet System of a Down effectively pushed their socially conscious, politically charged messages into the mosh pits during the turn of the century's new metal wave. Their dark and wild style led them from a cult following to a full-blown movement with their breakout hit Toxicity, which debuted at #1 in 2001, and planted them at the top of the charts through the early 2000s with a pair of related albums, Mezmerize and Hypnotize.
What the fuck is your cat doing?
Oh god, the cat's staring at me. But soon afterward, the band took an extended hiatus, branching off into various solo projects while maintaining a cultural presence with sporadic concerts, continued efforts to spread awareness of the Armenian genocide. And yeah, the band is comprised of vocalist Serj Tankian, guitarist Daron Malakian, bassist Shavo Odagian, these are names I cannot pronounce, and drummer John Dolmian. I'm probably butchering some of those names, but
You butchered them all.
no, I've been listening to System of a Down for many years now, but I don't know why only recently I started just like really focusing in on them and like listening to all of their stuff repeatedly. But they're a band that I definitely like. Initially, I was honestly kind of hesitant to get into. Like, I wasn't sure I even liked them. I think the first song I heard from them was Chop Suey, and just the crazy vocals and shit, and just like it wasn't stuff I was used to. Because at that point, I think I was like literally just listening to Metallica and like easy listening shit like that. So like listening to fucking Serj go off was kind of off-putting to me. But it's a band that really grew on me over time. Out of all the new metal bands that were like really popular back in like the late 90s and early 2000s, you know, all the new metal bands, I guess, like Linkin Park, Disturbed, Slipknot, all those bands, which I like too. I think System of a Down is the only one for me that hasn't felt dated to its time. Like, to me, I can listen to System of a Down and it's like, this is like timeless stuff to me. Compared to those other sounds of those bands. So that's one reason they're really unique to me.
Yeah, no, I agree with you saying that they're timeless, like especially in their in their lyrics and their political messaging. Like, a lot of that stuff still rings true today. No, yeah, they were kind of an instant favorite for me as when I was growing up. I think I listened to their whole discography when I was like 14 or 15, just getting into like proper albums and stuff, and I'd only heard Chop Suey before that point. And yeah, that song made me want to get into them. And then I found out, oh yeah, they're one of the most respected metal artists of all time. So I did that, and yeah, I fell in love with their first 3 albums. But they've always been, you know, a band that's connected with me, I think, of like the finest in their genre. And it kind of gave me this idea of like, you know, if there's a genre I don't like, because I'm not really huge into new metal, there should be at least one band that would click with me in that genre, if that makes sense. And System of a Down kind of opened my eyes to that fact, so I started to become more open to other genres of music. And so I think it's because of them that I'm just like, okay, let's give this a go, even though I'm not too into this genre. They've still hit for me today. I've never gotten tired of listening to their music. I think Serj Tankian's one of my favorite vocalists of all time. Like fucking John Doyleman, as much of a shitbag as he is, he's one of the greatest drummers of all time, in my opinion. I think he is a fantastic drummer. Like, there's so many songs with like memorable drum beats that like even drummers like go back to. It's like, oh yeah, this is a great like starter drum song for like if you're trying to get from like intermediate to like up the ranks. No, yeah, I completely love them. Yeah, I probably consider them one of my favorite bands, probably top like 30 at least.
I think yesterday Julia asked me, like, you know, what's the general consensus of how you're feeling with System of a Down, and I said good, not great. I do like them, and I think that I probably will like them the more I listen. Well, I've heard the first one like 2 or 3 times, I think, but the rest I've only heard once.
I think I made you listen to the first one.
Well, you didn't make me or anything. I think you just requested.
I think I just suggested them.
Yeah.
No, I strapped you to a chair and I made you listen to it.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Like a Clockwork Orange, fucking strapped headphones to his ears.
Yeah.
Listen.
I do think they're a really good band. The best thing that I've probably got out of them is like the lyrics and a lot of the drumming, honestly. Like, just to bring it back to what you said, I think the drumming is like fucking great. Like, it is actually some of the best drumming I've heard. Like, seriously.
Hell yeah.
It's fucking amazing. Yeah, it's just kind of like that, and the lyrics are like the only thing I really latched onto. But I don't know, I don't have too many things to say about them, like as a just baseline thing right now. But yeah, I do like them. I just don't love them yet, but I can see myself loving them in the future.
And that's fair, because I mean, like I said, I didn't even really like them at first, honestly. Like, it took a lot of re-listens for me to come to love them. But like, yeah, that's why I was kind of surprised, like, to hear that like you liked them right off the bat, Keelan. Which, I mean, then again, that's, I don't know if it should be surprising, because like they are a great fucking band and I love them, but to me they're not like the most, I guess maybe I'm thinking like in your average person's brain, like your average.
I think they're just like a very unique band overall, especially like in their formation, because like Serj Tankian like wasn't into metal before he was in System of a Down, because he's a classically trained opera singer, if you can't fucking tell from the music. But like most of his like discography nowadays is just like him performing like opera music, which is fucking cool. But he only really got into System of a Down to spread the message about the Armenian genocide and talk about other societal issues. Metal is kind of a good way to get those points across because of the inherent aggression of the genre, you know.
Exactly.
It's strange like how versatile their lyrics are, like because we'll get into it with the albums, but like it's weird how they do so much with like the most absurd lyrics, and it comes around to like making complete sense, like when you kind of put the whole song in context.
Because some of it just does sound kind of like odd and ridiculous and can like throw you off a little bit at first, and then like as it gets going you're like, oh, it's actually like starting to make more sense now, kind of.
At times they're so off the wall and so crazy and wacky, but they can also get down to some serious shit at the same time. Like, there's so much like contrast within the band in terms of like some of their lyrics are so crazy and absurd and could mean nothing, and then meanwhile they're talking about fucking genocide and revolution and all this like shit and like spitting off like statistics about prisons and stuff, and it's like crazy.
The hardest shit ever.
It feels like more punk lyrics kind of sometimes.
Kinda, yeah.
A bit in how like blunt it is.
Yeah.
But again, why is this man listing off his pizza order?
But at that same time, like, why does it work? Like, why am I also all for it? Like, why is it so fucking good? Like, this, he can sing about anything and say the most pointless shit ever, and I'm like, this goes hard. Like, I just love it. I don't care if it's banana, terracotta, terracotta pie. Like, I'm like, fuck yeah, let's go. That's literally verbatim lyrics, you know, of one of my favorite songs. Yeah, so I guess starting off with their 1997 album.
1998, wasn't it?
Okay, so it shows me, this is so weird. It shows me 98 when I'm looking at all their albums, and then when I click on the album specifically, it says 97. So that must be an
Told you, man, never trust Spotify.
error.
They don't know what they're talking about.
Must be an error. Right off the bat, like, I think this, to start off, this album was the one that was always, for some reason, the hardest. Like, way back when I was trying to get into them, this was the album that was the hardest for me to get into, because it was so raw, and it was so, like...
Yeah.
It's their most raw and aggressive album, I would say, and like maybe even their heaviest album. The more and more I listened to this, the more I just came to love it. Like, it is such a great fucking debut. Honestly.
I think it's their darkest and most aggressive and most serious in like the topics. Like the first song of System of a Down's discography is about pedophilia. Like how why? It's great and it's disturbing. Like the lyrics on that song are like, it goes hard, it's catchy, but also like fucking like the opening, like I had an out-of-body experience the other day. Her name was Jesus, and everyone cried.
Yeah,
you're going straight for it. You're going straight for the fucking throat, and it kind of sums up System of a Down as a whole. I feel, because like, you know, that is going to be their MO until they stop making albums in 2005. Unfortunately, I've always really loved this one. I think this was the first one I properly fell in love with, like even sooner than Toxicity. I think it's just such a solid track list, and I think overall of all their mainstream hits, I think Sugar is probably my favorite one of those, because it kind of brings in that eccentricity that makes them so special. Like the fucking the chorus where it just starts doing like fucking staccato notes on the guitar. It's fucking it's amazing, and it almost sounds like fucking cabaret or some shit.
Yeah.
Like I can almost fucking imagine Serj just like fucking dancing with like a top hat, like spinning the cane to the chorus.
Sugar! Yeah. It's just, and it, like another thing that also like you get the vibe right off the bat from like the first few songs, especially in Sugar, is like, I love, and this goes back to the little contrast thing, like how the guitars are so heavy, but I also can instantly recognize the System of a Down song because it has those weird, just simple, high-pitched fucking guitar notes. Like, like it's so
it
like
feels
weird.
like there's a lot of times where
It's
it
like
comes in with that and then just like builds to something more heavier. Like they always kind of start off a little bit more like raw kind of.
I just love how they're able to balance like the heavy ass guitars with those really just weird kind of just high pitched, like really just faint notes. Like it's just cool.
I think
it's really cool.
I do think you're right about like, you know, some of it being an acquired taste, because I think I would appreciate a lot of the music more on re-listen, but it's just like kind of off-putting when you first listen to it.
That's exactly. It was very off-putting to me. Like like I said, this album in particular. Like I always liked a couple songs off of it, but the more and more I listen to it, then it's like, damn, I love almost every single song off this album. Like it is just banger after banger for at least the first 8 songs. It's like I do not want to skip any of these.
You don't fuck with Pluck?
No, I love Pluck, actually. We'll get to that. But like, to me, where the album dips a bit, the only 2 songs that like I can't, like they never really stuck with me was Mind and Qbert. Those are the only 2 that I'm like those. They're good, don't get me wrong. I don't think
Mind
it's
is
hard
a bit long,
for me to
say that much. I think
Mind
it's like
is just a little too long.
I think even before you brought this episode up, I was like really into Spiders and War. I love those songs. Like,
dude, we got to talk about War. War is like fucking crazy. Like, I mean, it's hard to find another song of theirs that you can match like that fucking aggression and that like just energy.
I think the song before that goes a bit harder, Soil. I think that's my favorite song off this album.
That goes hard too.
I love the intro. The intro, like just the fucking ringing out of the chords and then into like the heavy shit. It's so fucking cool. Yeah. And you know, the lyrics on it, like I vibe with as well, even though it's not overtly about like war or anything. It's just about like, oh yeah, people die. Like
I mean, for me, Mind and Qbert were like the only 2 that for some reason I don't like love quite as much, but everything else I do fucking love. Like Darts has the same amount of energy as like War for me. Darts is so much fun. Like that's a great song, and I really think Pluck is like, in my opinion, Pluck is like my favorite closing song of any of their albums. I think Pluck is probably the best closer they've ever had on any of their albums.
It's a great one.
It's tied for maybe another one, but like the quintessential, in a way you could say this is like the quintessential System of a Down song, because like they're talking very openly about the Armenian genocide, about revolution, the Armenian genocide. They've got that fucking raw, like, fast aggression and all that shit, but then they also break down in the chorus for like, I love that too. Like they're so good at just like taking a fast song and then breaking it down into like, this is like a whole nother song, slow, melodic, fucking like beautiful sounding, and then just going right back into the craziness. And I mean, the System of a Down is literally in the lyrics of the song too. So like this is like sort of like the quintessential like System of a Down song to me.
Yeah.
The more I listen to it, it's so good.
Not to get too dark or anything, but like Pluck specifically is also kind of relevant today, you know, with the whole Palestine thing. Like the fucking, like in the song where they're talking about the plan was mastered and called genocide. She took all the children, then we died. The few remained that were never found. All in the system down. Yeah, that kind of hits fucking really hard these past few months, you know.
Yet another reason why
Lyrics are fucking
bands
powerful.
like this will always be timeless. Like I said,
Do we love spiders? Do we love spiders, boys?
I love spiders.
I love spiders.
Spiders is amazing. Like, God. Yeah, it gets you in your feels, for sure, that song.
The spiders all in tune, the evening of the moon, dreams are made, winding through my head. Through my head.
So good.
It's so
Yeah.
Oh, it's awesome.
And then the... Dun, 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 dun,
Yes.
Oh, God. What a great
The
instrumental, too.
the riff
One of my
in that
favorite...
is so beautiful.
Oh,
It
yeah.
is. It's a beautiful sounding song. I think it sticks out because it's the one song that like is consistently
slowest song.
in that sort of melodic kind of like...
I think that's the kind of System of a Down songs like I like the most, where it's really melodic and, you know,
where
emotive
they're not
like
so
that.
in your face or like fast and shit.
Yeah, like
They do
like
have,
sometimes
at
they
least one
just
of those every album.
sometimes that's a bit much for me.
See why this Spiders was like one of the biggest radio hits off the album is because it really does stick out in that way.
Yeah.
To where like a lot of the other songs I mean, I love, like I said, almost every song off here. I can see how maybe somebody listening to this album for the first time might say, well, it all sounds like the same song. It all sounds the same. And that's kind of what I thought the first
That's
time
like
I
a
listened
common
to it.
criticism with metal.
Well, it is a criticism I had for a little bit. It's like,
Fuck you.
all right.
Sorry.
No, I had that same criticism with
Yeah.
this band. Like I did struggle, I think, because a lot of the songs don't really feel like they switch up too much.
I think I've listened to Sugar the most over the past couple of weeks because it's just so catchy. Like, it grabs you and you're in. Like, there's so many fucking great sing-along moments, even though it's about a literal fucking psychopath.
Yeah.
I still don't know what the kombucha mushroom people are, though.
Just like great opening lyrics to their songs too. Like you said, I mean, you read off the opening lyrics to Sweet Pea, but like Sugar is like just immediately the kombucha mushroom people. Like it's like holy
kombucha
shit, we're
mushroom
just getting right
person?
into it, dude. And like that's another thing that reminds me is that like this album in particular, I don't know why he doesn't do it for a lot of his other albums, Serj Tankian, but like he really, there are so many moments in this album to where he like goes to the fucking depths of his like vocal cords and just growls. Like they're like literally, if you listen to his lyrics isolated, like without any instruments in the background, they straight up sound like fucking demons. Like they sound like fucking demons growling and shit. It's nuts. I swear, I think he probably like lost his voice because that's why he doesn't do it anymore on the other album. It's crazy. I don't know. But speaking of Sugar though, I also had to say one of my favorite lyrics for some reason did come from Sugar, and it was I play Russian roulette every day, a man's sport with a bullet called life. Like it's like fuck, that's so cool.
The second half of the album makes me feel like so fucking, like, it's hype, but it's also it almost makes you fucking feel go insane, like with the way, how fucking fast he's speaking at the end, like saying, how do I feel, what do I say, in the end it all goes away.
How do I feel? What do I say? Fuck
It's
you, it all
like,
goes away.
it's so overwhelming and disorienting almost.
It is, yeah. It's so manic. Like, I love how manic they get, but like I said, they can always find a way to bring it back to their beautiful melodic fucking like hooks. Like, it's just like so well balanced. But they are like so manic at the end of the day.
That is a good word to describe this System of a Down overall.
Especially this album in particular, because I mean it was their debut album. Most bands in their debut album, like, they have a lot to prove. They're like, you know, they're hungry, they're angry. So like this was like their most, like, I mean it really was their most aggressive and raw album. I think it's easy to say that probably.
I think
But-
I'd agree.
A high 9, a very high 9. Like it is. If I this could be a 10 someday. Honestly, like this album could be a 10.
I'm joining you right there. 9 out of 10.
Ooh,
Oh hell yeah! I
holy
wasn't
shit! I
expecting
didn't know you liked
Hell
it
yeah.
that much.
I really, really like this one. It's fucking great.
That's great.
I love it for how aggressive it is. It's fucking awesome.
Hell yeah!
Giving it a 10.
Yeah.
I
Oh, hell
love
yeah.
This I
Dude,
love this album to death. Love this album
It's
to
so
death.
tempting to give it a 10. I should give it.
Just
a
give
10,
it.
But
Give it to it.
fuck
Give
it. I'll give it a 10. I'm giving it a 10.
Yes.
You know what? Changing it. 9 to a 10. Mind and Hubert are still great songs. Like, even though I skip them sometimes, they're still great songs. I mean, I can't deny that. So, I was really, like I said, I was so on the fence. I was in the middle. And I didn't want to seem too forgiving because this is, like, far from the last 10 you'll hear in this episode. Moving on to their biggest album and the one that got them blown up. It's their most mainstream album. And I guess for good reason. Toxicity, 2001.
The debut is so raw that it's almost kind of jarring hearing how fucking polished Toxicity is. Like
I can agree with
it's
that.
probably one of my favorite produced albums of all time. I love the production on it. Like everything's just right. It's just right. Everything feels like at the perfect fucking level. All the fucking instruments sound fucking amazing. Expands on the ideas that were explored in the first one. Goes even more fucking manic with it because like some of the lyrics on this thing are fucking bonkers and I love it. Chop Suey, fucking
Toxicity, Aerials. I mean, so many big hits came off this album too. It is by far their most mainstream and their most popular, but like I said, for good reason. I mean,
I know it's one of their
And,
most like popular songs, but I didn't even like actually realize that. But I fucking love Toxicity, the song. Like it's so good.
Toxicity is gorgeous.
great fucking song. It used to be my favorite song in general from them. Like, it is so good.
When I was talking earlier about like how drummers kind of use John Doleman's drumming as kind of a template for like what to strive for, Toxicity is like the song, the drumming song for System of a Down because like
It is.
that
Yeah.
intro, holy shit,
Fucking hell.
oh my god, it's fucking insane.
Yeah, it's like that. Just, oh, God,
It's
yeah.
nuts.
I mean, like you said, Keelan, they carried over that sort of, like, it is polished, but I feel like they still carried over their rawness too. Like, their rawness kind of, like, it really does carry over to almost all of their albums, I would say. But this does definitely feel more polished in a way and more accessible, definitely, than their first album.
I think it's more intense as well. It's definitely more intense and catchy, I feel, because like they kind of save the slower moments for like the very end because like
Yeah.
Aerials and like fucking R2, like those are the only two songs of the album I really think of as like being like moderately paced, I suppose.
And ATWA, right?
Oh, Atwa, yeah,
That-
sorry.
Atwa. That's also another like kind of ballad, almost. I would agree with you with the catchy part. I think this is far catchier, but I don't know if I'd agree with being more, what was it, more aggressive or more harder. Like I feel like their first album is their darkest and hardest album.
Yeah,
by
I'd
far.
agree.
But
I think it's more intense because of the long stretches of like raw intensity. Like you're going from fucking Prison Song to Needles to Deer Dance to Jet Pilot to Multiply
that's
to
true.
Chop Suey
It's
to
a
Bounce.
lot.
It does feel like an expansion of the last one, though. It does feel like they're building off their sound, and I really appreciate it
Yeah.
for that. But not all of it did hit for me, and I think I did want more of like that, rawness and aggressive-ness of the first album. But I still did really enjoy it. I fucking love Deer Dance and Psycho and Toxicity.
Yes.
Like,
Dude, Psycho is an underrated
Psycho
song.
is
Nobody
fucking
talks about
great.
Psycho. It's so good.
It's
And I
awesome.
love the way that, like, it's their most manic, like, I think it's their most manic verses. Like, it's literally just Psycho, cocaine, crazy, Psycho.
Yes.
Like, but then the way, my favorite part of the song is when it breaks down. So you want to see the show, you really don't have to be a hoe. Like, it's so
It's
fucking,
awesome.
like, it's
It
like,
works
oh, I'm
so
just
well.
vibing now. Now I'm just vibing. Like, it just, like, pulls you in and out of, like, I'm fucking headbanging to, like, I'm just like, oh yeah, that's great. I mean, right off the bat, though, Prison Song.
It's one of the greatest openers of all time, in my opinion. It probably radicalized me. It's
Isn't
so
it
fucking.
something else? Like,
It's so
just-
unique, like the spoken word section just stating facts and like the real fucking
Yeah.
facts, and like we've probably gotten worse into what it's talking about. Well, America at least.
Yeah.
America's prison system. My God, listen to
Yeah.
Prison Song, guys.
this is finally when we kind of see, what is his name? Darren Malankian's kind of weird. Like, he has a lot to offer too in terms of like the vocals, and he jumps in and out, like from the, I smack my, or wait, what is it? I buy my crack, my smack my bitch right here in Hollywood. Like, it's like that little guy coming in just like every now and then. It's like, God, this is such a weird dynamic, but it's like, it just works.
We'll talk about it a bit later, but like, I think he works so well in those little moments. I'm not a huge, I'm not overly sold on like a lot of the songs that he's sung on his own, but like acting as like kind of a hype man for Serj almost. I think that's where he works well, and Prison Song is a perfect example of that. It's also a perfect example of his fucking guttural fucking growl, like during the fucking breakdown, like just before.
I think I should say that I don't always enjoy Serj's vocals.
I've been throwing a lot of like greatest of all times around right now, but like I probably think he's the greatest metal vocalist of all time in my opinion. I love his vocals to death, and I think he's so fucking talented.
Yeah, the head corn.
He never misses a beat in my opinion.
I'm kidding.
I'd back you up, honestly. Like, I mean, I don't know if I can make such a definitive statement as that, but like, I wouldn't argue it. I would never argue it.
I think he's one of the more unique vocalists in the genre.
I'd say he is the most unique vocalist in the genre for sure. Like, he goes off, like, he has captured every fucking possible vocal melody and inflection fucking ever. Like, every other metal band, they kind of stick to the same formula, but with Serj, it's like you don't know what you're getting with each song. You really don't know.
Yeah, he does at least keep it interesting.
It's like he's got like different personalities and shit, like with these different songs. It's crazy. So
that is what I like. Even if I don't really vibe with a song, it's like it's probably going to switch up a bit in vocals in the next song, and I might enjoy that more.
It's like he has something for everybody, kind of. Like, if you didn't like that, well, you like this version of him. At no point in their whole discography am I ever annoyed or anything by Serj's vocals, but there are moments to where I am annoyed by Daron's vocals. Yeah. But I'm with Keelan though. It's on his solo songs, and that comes later in their career. But everything in this album just works.
The Eyes albums.
But everything in this album just works because he works as such a good addition to the songs. But like when he's front and center, that's when I get kind of annoyed. But yeah, like, I mean, Prison Song, Needles is another great example of that. I'm sitting in my room with a needle in my hand. It's like, that's a great part of the song, and it's like, it works so well, that balance.
A Weasley untrained voice almost, kind of contrasting to Serj's like fucking heavily trained manic voice.
Yeah, it adds just a lot of personality to the band, honestly. Like,
you'd never see another metal band writing Bounce.
Oh yeah, a song about what you think is a pogo stick, but is a orgy instead.
It's an orgy, yeah.
Dude, Bounce is a great song too.
I love Bounce.
And Bounce shows up in The Secret Life of Pets, that animated kids movie. That's Bounce song. It does. I'm not even kidding.
I'm looking that up right now.
I'm pretty damn sure The Secret Life of Pets. I've never seen it. It's a kids movie. It's in the. I've never seen. I only saw a clip.
Hey, at least they're doing that instead of fucking Mario, just like shit that you expect.
And then he puts on heavy metal music because you'd never expect such a cute dog to turn on heavy metal music. Isn't it so funny, guys? Haha. That is such a dark and intense genre. Like I'm so devastated I'll probably never get to see them live. Because, oh my god, I killed to be in a pit at their show. Oh my god.
I really want to see them live too, honestly. Every song is such... I know I said this about the last album, but every song truly is a banger. To the point of which, honestly, like, this... I guess this is a testament to how good they are and how... I guess how popular they got, but Chop Suey, I would not consider it, like, one of my favorite System of a Down songs anymore, because... it is the Enter Sandman of System of a Down. I'm fucking tired of hearing it. Like, I'm honestly tired of hearing Chop Suey.
I completely disagree.
Really?
Completely. I still adore Chop Suey.
I mean, I still like the song, but no, it's reaching a point where, like, when I have all their songs on shuffle and it comes to Chop Suey, I skip it because I've heard it too many times. Like, that's kind of the point it's reached for me.
It's kind of a song I'd never really listened to as, like, on its own.
I mean, I liked it early on when it wasn't so, like, beaten to death, like everybody played it. But it's really a song that has just become too popular for its own good. Like, and honestly, like, Toxicity and Aerials, those are another two songs that I used to love to death, but I've heard them a billion times at this point because they're such big hits. And it's like, I skip them now when it comes to them. But like I said, that's like a compliment, though. Like, I'm able to listen to that song a million times, and now that it's finally getting sick of it, kind of. But
I don't think I've ever heard Toxicity or Aerials, like, on the radio or anything. So what I will say about this album, and it's like, it is a testament to any album I love. Like, you know, sometimes I just get the feeling of listening to Prison Song on its own, and I go to Spotify, click on the album, listen to Prison Song, and then it goes into fucking Needles and then Dear Dance, and it's just like, oh, I guess I'm listening to this now. And I've done that.
Listen to the whole album.
Yeah, and I've done that twice the past week. So
Yeah, and
it's just so addictive. It's so
It is.
catchy.
It never lets up. It's every song gets its like chance to shine, honestly, with its like catchy hook.
It's hooky
fuck.
catch.
I think Jet Pilot has like some of my favorite System of a Down lyrics. I think it's
The
so
lyrics
much
are
fun.
interesting, but I wish that it's not like a melody that I love. If I'm being honest, like if I was to rate it lower, it's lesser on the track list for me, but it's still good.
I think it'd be up there for me. Like I'm just look, it grabs me straight away with fucking Wired Were the Eyes of a Horse and the Jet Pilot. Like what do you mean? What are you talking about, Serj?
One that smiled when he flew over the bay.
Yeah.
It's like what?
I love it so much. And then the lyrics about like fucking, yeah, my horse is a shackled man. His remorse was that he couldn't survey the skies. I think that's so funny.
And then Forest. I mean, Forest is like honestly one of my favorite tracks off the album too. It's just the way that it builds, like the way it like dun, 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 and then the way, like, yet again, it's just the weird little choices. Like, why did you do that? But it works. It's like at the end of every line, he's like, "Walk with me, my little child." It's like he adds that like at the end of every fucking line. It's like, why'd you do that? But it works.
It's a very unique and cool melody. Like, especially the hook. Why can't you see that you are my child? Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, it is awesome. And Science is a fucking banger too.
I always had heard the closer attached to Aerials, because I think it's like that on the CD. I don't think it's separated from Aerials. I think it's just kind of like a hidden track type thing. So when we're talking about closers, like, I consider Aerials to be the closer. No, with Spotify they put hidden tracks as like real tracks now, which is kind of annoying sometimes.
I didn't know that it was ever a hidden track, so I've always known it as the closer, I guess. So if I was considering Aerials a closing track, I would also say it's their best closing track. I mean, yeah, overall though, like all the songs, I mean, there's not one bad song, like I would say.
I would
for
say
me,
this is
there's not.
No, I completely agree. I think it's a complete fucking masterpiece. Like we'll get to it later, but I just think this is a perfect album in my opinion. Probably one of my favorite albums of all time. Honestly, it's awesome. It's one of the greats for a reason, you know.
I'd give it a 7 personally, but I'm open to it going up.
I'm right there with you.
No, you're not.
Only a joke. It's a fucking fat 10 out of 10. Speaking of overplayed, Steal This Music definitely isn't.
This album is the only one that never had like a huge blow up like radio hit. I feel like all the other albums did. Like the first album had Spiders and like Sugar. Second album had like all those songs, and then the last two albums had like blow up radio hits. But this one, I don't know if it even did, honestly. And
like, what are the? I want to see what the most listened to one on Spotify is.
I think it's IEAIO or whatever that is, or Highway Song.
It is
one of those
that.
two. Yeah,
No,
I figured that was it.
IEAIO yeah, I wouldn't have guessed that was the most
Really?
popular. It has 120 million plays.
And to me, that's like I can get it though, because that's like one of the catchiest songs off the album, I think.
Oh yeah.
I
it's
only
a
like
fucking
wrote
banger,
down
like,
one that I liked, which was Chicken Stew, but I don't.
Chicken Stew is
Yeah.
It's a great fucking. It's like it's them just being ridiculous, and I mean, and it's awesome.
It is awesome. I hated Ego Brain. I hated it.
You hated Ego
Kill
Brain,
Yourself?
dude. Ego Brain.
It annoyed me. It was
Ego
just
Brain was
really
awesome.
annoying.
I thought the instrumental was so unique, like that opening guitar, like dun 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 dun. Like I don't know.
It's like
I
it's
don't
well
know.
put together and stuff, but it's I don't know. It kind of annoyed me.
The only track that annoys me, and if I could even say a track annoyed me off this, would be 36, which is barely even a track. It's like less than a minute, and it's just him kind of screaming like, "And you're right, and you're right." Like that's all it really is. And so like I kind of forget about that track, but I'm willing to overlook it.
I love 36.
I don't know. It's just to me, it's like a
love Daron.
non-song. It's just like nothing there, you know. Like it's like not even a full song to me. But
It's the length of a punk song. Well, a hardcore
40, like
punk
46 seconds. I mean, I don't know.
song. A lot of punk songs are like that short.
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know. I would never say I love it, but I don't like hate it. But it's like I will skip it probably every chance I get if it comes across it. But man, like going from Chicken Stew to Inner Vision. Isn't that so good? Like Inner Vision just has, all the songs have this like momentum to it. I feel like there's such a momentum between all the songs. Kind of like their last album, honestly.
I think this is their most manic album.
Really?
I think it goes through a lot of emotions, and I think it's probably their most out there, I suppose, in terms of
I guess
lyrical content.
Well, that's true. I mean, I guess when you open up with Chicken Stew, then that kind of sets the tone for like we're gonna be singing about anything. Like we're gonna get goofy, and that's kind of what it is. Yeah. And no, I guess you're right. Like it is definitely. I could see it being their most manic in terms of like all the weird singing choices that he decides to do. Like on Pictures, like I got pictures on my mind. I got pictures on my mind. Like, and then what's the one?
The fucking bass on that song as well, dude. Holy shit, I love that bass intro.
Man, but yeah, he just does a lot of crazy vocal work in this one, and but at the same time, like I really feel like even though this could be their most manic album, I think there are a lot of like breaks to where it goes off into like a really honestly beautiful instrumental. Like I thought Ego Brain was a nice break. Like a nice melodic break. I thought Roulette is probably the most beautiful song that they've ever made. Honestly, I would say Roulette is by far. Like that song's just a straight up fucking ballad through and through, and it's fucking beautiful. Like I re-listen to that a lot.
I really love Daron's harmonies in that song. Works so well. I think overall my favorite song on the album is probably "Fuck the System."
It was good.
That's a good one.
I adore "Fuck the System." I love the hook.
Fuck the system, fuck the system. Yeah.
More fuck the system. Oh my god. His ability to change pitch is just insane. Yeah. I can't fathom it.
In the verse, how, like, yet again, you said it's the most manic album, and this backs it up, because, like, his verse is just, I'm a little bit changed, a little bit changed, a little bit like, it's like, holy fuck, he's going off.
He took a bit of inspiration from Jack Black.
Mr. Jack is a great song.
I think Mr. Jack was one of the standouts for me. Just standard System of a Down. Like it doesn't really have that much that I latch on to personally. It's just like, yeah, this is a pretty standard System of a Down album. I don't really get that much out of it, but it's good.
This is one that really grew on me because I wasn't crazy about it at first either, but like this is like one of the few albums that did really fucking grow on me.
Well, that's good to hear. Maybe I would like it more.
Like, I think the only song I've ever had trouble with is IEIO.
Really?
Really? That's like one of the first ones that actually I came to like out of all of them, honestly.
Yeah, no, I kind of had troubles with getting into that, but there's other songs on it that I fucking adored off the bat. Like, I love American Dream Denial. I think that song's fucking phenomenal. Highway song. Oh god, it's full of bangers.
New Guns is great.
I should say
I do like the closer as well.
Do like
Streamline.
Oh, Streamline's good.
Streamline's great.
That's a good closer.
But,
yeah.
I should say I do like IEAIO now. I think that song's really good, but I just had trouble getting into it at the start.
Well, I mean, when he gets right off the bat, he's like, Peter's Pecker picked another pickle-bearing pussy pepper. Peter's Pecker another pickle-bearing pussy pepper. Why? It's like, it's so, like, yeah, it is their most, I'll agree with you now, after looking at these lyrics, it is their most manic for sure. Because he can, like, dude, Serj could, in another life, Serj would be, fuck Eminem, he'd be the rap god, Serj would be. Because this guy can rap fast as hell, you know? Like, he can, like, just go a million miles an hour.
I feel like people don't appreciate that about like some, you know, vocalists in other genres that aren't rap. Like sometimes they do feel like they, you know, say things in a really fast way, like rap, and it's like, that's fucking impressive. I wish they got recognition for it like rappers do, you know. Doesn't sound quite right, but like John Daniel actually does that quite a bit sometimes too.
Does he do it on Goth's any part?
No, it's more in like some of his later the later stuff.
Even AJJ, I think they do it really well. I like fast singing. Fast singing is cool.
It is.
When it's done right, and it's not gimmicky,
Serj does it
but
well.
he does it right, yeah. Bubbles is another good song, just had to throw that in there.
What about Theta Waves? Do we like Theta Waves?
Theta Waves is great. I mean, like,
Great song.
literally
Great song.
all of them I like, honestly, except for 36. I think it's just kind of pointless, but
Get the fuck out of here, bro.
Highway Song, though, I mean, fucking Highway Song is great, too. Like, this was an album as well, though, like you said, Keelan, it took some time to grow on me as well, and I think that's because, I mean, yeah, this is their most overlooked album for some reason. I don't know, it's just that, but maybe at first none of it just really stood out to me, but finally digging into it and re-listening, it's like, man, I really see the fucking magic here, finally. You know?
I totally agree. Maybe
Yeah.
it's just like how soon it came out after Toxicity, because I always think of it like coming out 8 years after, but it came out like a year after Toxicity came out, so maybe, you know, Chop Suey was still big in the airwaves or whatever, and people were still buying Toxicity, and people just forgot about Steal This Album, which could have happened back then.
I'm
like,
imagining
you know.
a lot of people did steal the album.
No, well,
Yeah.
here's the thing. Here's this. I mean, I didn't know if you guys knew the story behind this album, but like, these were songs that were leaked. Apparently, like these songs were leaked online somehow, even though the internet was so young back then.
Yeah.
You know, like, but people were
I
doing like
love that shit,
Napster and all
though.
that shit. Like they were, yeah, and like these were actually I could have swore I watched in some videos or read somewhere that these were all sort of Toxicity B-sides or songs left over from Toxicity that got leaked online, and so that's why they released it so quickly as like as their third album, and so I think that's why they named it Steal This Album, because everyone basically kind of did already, you know, they took it online. So, and
But it's
I mean,
also-
I think it's
I-
literally. Sorry, I was just gonna say also, like,
Yeah.
I mean, with all that being said, I genuinely think that these all like hold their own. Like, this is strong enough, even if these were leftover songs or something from Toxicity, they're strong enough to be their own album.
Yeah.
And that says something. So
I completely agree.
I would agree
know.
also, to be honest. Even though it's not the best for me, it's like, yeah, I can agree with that sentiment.
carries the pattern of just like perfect albums, because I'm gonna say it, I'm gonna give this a 10 as well.
God damn.
This is a 10.
By God.
Fuck I mean, even the 36 song, I don't care. It's there. I mean, it's whatever. But every like, if I go through the whole album and I love each song, then I don't understand why I wouldn't give it a 10. So it's just a 10.
I would give it a 6 out of 10 personally. Liked it a bit less than Toxicity, but it's still another one that does have room to improve for me. But I can't see it happening as much as I can with Toxicity. So it just kind of felt like it stagnated after a while for me.
I'm there with Quinn, it's a 10.
Fair.
We're on three tens in a row. 3 tens in a row.
10, yeah. I wasn't expecting that, honestly. I wasn't
I
sure.
love Steal This Album.
Should I even be here?
I'm glad.
Do you want me to go? There's gonna be some yelling going on here, I feel like.
Now, man, I know, because I try not to look at people, like, mainly for the podcast. If we watch a movie or listen to something or, like, are doing something, I try to not look at your guys' opinions until I actually come here and talk about it.
I try to do that too,
just to
but
be-
I fail a lot.
But, I mean, I couldn't help, but, like, I was on Music Board, and it was just right on the front page, and I was like, I was very...
I'm sorry.
sad. I was very sad. But let's just say I'm sure he doesn't like it as much as us, Keelan. But
That's fair to say.
I can understand, I guess, how, like,
It's very
these
different
do
from their
feel
last.
like-
It's very different.
Yes. Yeah, because there was definitely a little bit of a gap. There's, like, several years of a gap or something.
Yeah, and I
Well,
feel like
maybe
you
not
can
even
feel that.
long. To me, the reason I love this album, like, I really love Mezmerize a lot, is because this feels like how Steal This Album went really manic and they were having fun. This feels like that, but to 100%, honestly, for me. This feels like,
Oh, they're
okay,
definitely
we've
having fun
proven
in this
ourselves.
one. Yeah.
They
yeah.
are. And it feels like, okay, we proved ourselves with the first 3 albums. We talked about some serious shit. Now let's just go off the fucking wall completely with this 4th album. And to me, it just worked. To me, this album is just lightning in a bottle. I think it has some of their catchiest songs. I think it is the most fun out of all their albums. If you're looking on average how catchy the songs are, by like how concentrated it is, it's like 10 tracks. And each one is one that, like, I can, like, fucking sing along to. I'm fucking rocking out to. Like, I love it.
My dick is much bigger than yours.
My dick can walk right through that door. It's weird. It's a weird album, too. It's their weirdest album, I would say.
Yeah.
It's quite
in terms
weird.
of, like, in terms of their lyrics, in terms of their delivery.
Well,
in
also
terms
the
of their
musical styles that
vocal-
it implements, it's quite different.
For as an example of that, like, what Radio Video, which I know is a song one of the ones you didn't like,
Yes,
right?
I did not like that at all.
You didn't like radio
But-
video? Oh my god.
but no,
I'll kill you,
like-
stone
oh,
dead.
Fuck off.
But no, one of the, like, I love radio video so much because the verse, first of all, it's so damn, like, to me, it's so catchy.
It's so
like,
catchy. I love the
Yeah, in the
intro.
worst way.
the intro's great,
Sorry.
but then, but,
I'm just expressing my
but,
opinion.
God, now I gotta, no,
Yeah,
it's
why
fine,
usually
it's
I'm
good to
here?
have differing opinions, it is.
No, it's not.
Let's all be in the echo chamber.
But no, like the verse when it goes into "They take me away from the strangest place," like, and it has that weird, like, it sounds like a polka song. Is that what I'm thinking of, like a
Yeah.
polka thing, like like it's like, dude,
Yeah.
this is like a unique ass sound to implement into a fucking, like, this is
I will
like
not argue that
breaking
it's unique.
down barriers or genres, and this is really where the acquired taste, I guess, would come in, is like when they're trying to break down barriers of genres here, and it just, to me, it worked so well. Like, to me, it just worked.
I think the track list is solid. Like, I think, not to spoil it, but this is my first System of a Down album that I don't think is perfect, because there's like one or two songs that I kind of have a few issues with.
You gonna cry?
Sorry, I burped.
Oh, I thought you were tearing
But
up.
It's sad. It's sad not giving a System of a Down album a 10. It just is. But which songs? Because I'm curious.
I'm not huge on Lost in Hollywood.
Me neither.
think
I
it's kind of a
hated
weak
that.
closer.
Really?
I hated it.
Oh,
I
now,
wouldn't
this
say
is... I thought it was just a nice vibe, though. I thought, like, the background...
Yeah, but my, like, it
I'm
was
not
just
doing
so
it as well,
long,
but,
my
like, to me,
God.
it's just, like, this is, like... I know, but this was the other closer I was talking about when I said, like, maybe it's tied with another closer. If Pluck wasn't my favorite closer, I think Lost in Hollywood would be. And I don't know if that's, like, an unpopular opinion or something, but... And it's one of the few times that, like, Daron's singing didn't bother me that much, because he's very prominent on that track, and it's one of the very few times to where his solo tracks didn't bother me. I was like, okay, I'm liking this song.
Sorry, the other one I'm not huge on is Question, but every
Really?
other song, yeah, I'm not huge on Question.
I like Question.
The one I liked the most was Revenga.
Revenga
Revenge
awesome.
is a great song.
I love
Very
Revenga.
cool.
God.
But apart
Yeah,
from
it
those
is
two
a very great
songs,
song.
every other song I think stands toe to toe with like Steal the Album and Toxicity. I love Violent Pornography. I love BYOB is a masterpiece in my
banger.
opinion. It kind of encapsulates everything that's great about System of a Down into one song. I think like the kind of like I love the lyrics on it, like especially the hook where it goes into basically a parody song to kind of
Yeah.
be like, oh yeah, this is a parody song, but there's actually deeper meaning to it. It also kind of contains my favorite instance of Daron's solo vocals, like at the end.
Daron can fucking, yeah, when he belts it, he really belts it. Like, I'm surprised this dude hasn't shot his vocal cords. Like, this song has the craziest singing, or the craziest screaming, not even singing, screaming, I mean, like, that you will hear probably on any System of a Down song.
And his harmonies on the hook, where it's just like, everybody's going to... I love it. I love it.
Like, yeah, he's a great, like, additional thing to Serj's main vocals. That's what he's best at, for sure. Just having that weird, because they're such different, like, voices. They really are, but they somehow work together. But BYOB was one of the 3 big tracks that got me into System of a Down, actually.
It was my first one, I think.
Yeah, it's just for some reason it was like, I think it's very accessible, like you said, because it's almost like a party song in a way.
I mean, BYOB, Bring Your Own Beers, when it's actually
Yeah.
Bring Your Own Bombs.
It's just, and you mentioned Violent Pornography. I think I've said before, like, I genuinely think it's their catchiest song, period, for me personally. I know it's not for everybody, but Violent
I'd say it's
Pornography
up
has always been, in my opinion, their catchiest song.
Non-stop disco,
And-
bitches, Nabisco.
Non-stop disco bitches, like old school Hollywood. Like, how can you not
love old school
love
Hollywood.
that song? How do you not love?
I
Old
don't
school
know.
Hollywood baseball, Jack Gilardi, 10 feet tall.
I think the last 4 like really just dragged for me.
Sad Statue is amazing. I love Sad Statue.
Sad Statue's great. Cigaro, I don't know if we already talked about that. You already kind of mentioned a lyric from that. Cigaro is just fucking crazy. It's batshit.
Yeah.
I like it. This Cocaine
Yeah,
makes me
it's
feel like
insane.
I'm on this song is a great song as well.
Oh yeah.
3 out of 10.
Oh, you're dead. Oh, you're dead.
I'm sorry. I'm very sorry.
And that's for probably the 3 songs he liked, probably. Like, you
Kind
get a
of,
point
yeah.
per
Like,
song.
well, I said
Because there's 10 songs and you get a 3, you know, so.
like I said in the reaction thing, like to me it's just Like, it felt like someone trying to channel System of a Down and, like, failing 7 times out of 10. At least to me. It just felt like kind of a shell of how they were in their first 3 albums to me, but I can maybe see it growing on me, but I don't really know. It's not what I appreciate the most about them as a band.
I'd give it a 9 out of 10, yeah. I still really enjoy it.
Would have agreed with you months ago, but I'm going to give it a 10 out of 10. It's the 4th out of 10.
shit.
I don't care. I'm doing it. I love it.
He's
love
going
it.
crazy. He's going crazy.
I am going crazy. This is just, like I said, it's their catchiest album. It has some of my all-time favorite songs on there. Yeah, it's just their catchiest album for me, and I love it. Yeah, we're moving on to Hypnotize, their last album. Oh my dear. Willow, fuck off. Get down. What'd you say? It was a shell of System of a Down. That's what you said for the last album. I would not... That sounds harsh when you say it, but if I was to say any of the albums would feel like a shell, maybe it'd be this one. But keep in mind, I still like this album a lot. Like, I still like it. You can agree?
I do agree.
Is that what you said?
To me, this one is the one that dragged the most, because I felt like the songs really didn't switch up that much. In my opinion, it just felt like it just stagnated.
I think one thing that should be said is this is a part of a double album with Mezmerize.
Well, yeah.
Because they came out the same year, and like even with the 2 CDs, you can actually join them together to make one full CD, which is cool. The weaker half, and by far the worst System of a Down album, in my opinion. It's so boring. It is so boring.
Agreed.
I don't get a lot out of it. I've listened to it so many times.
That's like what I said in my musical thing. Like, the first thing I said, it just bored me, really.
There's some good songs, like we were talking about, Vicinity of Obscenity. I think that song is great. That's more in System of a Down's MO.
This is the only one where I didn't write down a song for it. And the last one was a lower score for me, so that should say something.
Vicinity of Obscenity, though, that is a great song. I love the kind of disco hook.
It is by far their I would say this is like their goofiest song, easily. I mean, you're going from Banana Banana Terracotta Pie to fucking Do we all learn defeat from the horse with bad feet? Beat the beat. It's hilarious. But like the beat switch up is one of my favorite System of a Down switch ups ever.
I think this might also be my least favorite, because I think this is the most Daron is like front and center on an album.
Yeah.
Can I just say I hate Lonely Day? I think that's probably solidly my least favorite System of a Down song. I don't like that song at all.
We could all agree on that.
Holy shit. I thought I was alone in that. I was about to say this is a hot take of mine, but it is actually my least favorite System of a Down song too, as well. And it blows my mind that it's so popular.
It's so surface level.
Isn't it in a bunch of movies as well? Because it is like one of those surface level things where you can just throw it in like
it blew up. And it really got popular from the Disturbia movie with Shia LaBeouf. Apparently that
it
song
was in
is
that, wasn't
movie.
it?
Yeah, I've never even seen that movie, but
it's a good movie.
It is in that movie.
No, it sucks. I don't like Lonely Day at all.
Neither do I. It's cringy, it's basic, it's boring. I don't like Daron's solo singing.
It feels so out of place as well. Like, I mean, I don't even think it really clicked with me that it was a System of a Down song, and then like it came on and I was like, oh, this is them. That doesn't seem right.
Yeah.
To follow up She's Like Heroin with that, I quite like She's Like Heroin.
Yeah, I kind of like it too. It kind of grew on me. Daron's vocals are another kind of acquired thing on that song as well. It sounds like he's channeling his fucking Mark Hamill Joker or something. Like, she's like heroin. I'm looking like it's like, what the fuck?
I will say though, this album gets off to a really strong start because I love Attack. Attack is amazing, and then you get into Dreaming, and then it's like, oh, I'm gonna go to sleep.
It's like Attack's a good opener, but I feel like it sets a tone that doesn't carry out throughout the rest of the album. Like, it sets a tone that you think you're gonna get like a batshit, like we're gonna go for it album, but then this is their most restrained album, so it's kind of a weird opener to put on this.
Yes, yeah, it was yesterday. When I listened to it yesterday, I listened to Mezmerize and Hypnotize back to back. I listened to them. I listened to them so like. Mezmerize went straight into Hypnotize. Mm-hmm. And because I thought, like, this is the way it's meant to be listened to, like, let's see how this plays out. And it feels like an album of like really rough B-sides, honestly.
Yeah.
Kinda, yeah.
No, it does. It really feels like leftovers from Mezmerize, honestly. Like, it feels like you can't capture. To me, Mezmerize was lightning in a bottle, and it feels like they tried to capture that again, and it just failed.
That's the weird thing about the way I feel as well. Like I appreciate Mezmerize more as an album because it's more inventive, but I liked it
You just
less.
enjoy it less. You can do
Yes.
that.
Despite this album being a little lackluster, like it still gave me a couple of like my favorite songs, like Vicinity Obscenity. The title track,
Oh.
Hypnotize, was arguably
No.
like, really? You don't like that?
Don't like it.
That was actually, for a while, like my favorite songs by them kind of switched off time to time. And for a while, Hypnotize was my favorite song by them, period, actually.
No.
I don't know why. Dreaming, I still like Dreaming. I like Stealing Society. Holy Mountains has like a nice fucking creepy vibe to it, like a weird vibe.
I like the lyrics on Holy Mountains, but I don't like the song overall.
I like more of the songs than I don't like. Like, if I was to weigh it.
I can't even remember what Stealing Society sounds like.
I can't remember what most
Yeah.
of them
Kills rock
sound
and
like
roll.
because it just kind of blended together.
Soldier Side I still think is a solid closer. I still think that's a
It's a
solid
decent
closer.
one, yeah.
But I think the last 3 tracks are probably my least favorite on the album. Like, She's Like Heroin, Lonely Day, and
It just sucks that
Soldier
like
Side.
their last album like ends with Lonely Day and then something else, and
Mezmerize opens with Soldier Side, the intro, and then this one ends on Soldier Side, the real song.
it just doesn't feel like
That's
this should
true.
be their last album, you know?
They released 2 songs like 4 years ago, which I really like both of them, like more than anything on Hypnotize. I keep
Really?
getting these albums. Yeah, Hypnotize. Yeah, I love Genocidal Humanoids. I think that's a fantastic song. I'm not even sure what much I have to say about it. It's just very boring, very lackluster. Like, I really like Attack. I like U-Fig. I like Vicinity of
Vicinity of
Obscenity a lot.
Yeah.
The rest aren't even that bad apart from Lonely Day. It's just they're boring and they don't really give me what I want out of a System of a Down album, and not even in like kind of a way where they're doing something different and interesting. It just kind of feels like they're kind of running out of steam at that point. It feels like they kind of push themselves too hard with trying to do a double album in 1 year,
Yeah.
you know?
And apparently, maybe this would explain a bit of it, but apparently, like, Serj's heart wasn't even in, like, these last 2 albums. Apparently, he wasn't even wanting to do Mezmerize and Hypnotize. He was kind of checked out of the band at that point.
I mean, it
so
makes
maybe
sense
that would
because of
explain how
yeah, how
prominent
much
Daron
Daron-
is on the tracks
yeah.
as well, you know? If you like Daron, you'll probably love the albums. I don't know. I hate for it to sound so negative on this album because, like, even though, like, I'm sounding more negative on this album, it's just because the standard that they've set with their first 4 albums for me were so high.
Yeah.
And then when it kind of dropped with this, like, to where, like, if I heard any of these songs, like, playing, I would still like it. I would still enjoy it. I just don't go out of my way. Like, if I had the choice between all their albums, I'm not coming to Hypnotize first. So, like, I still like the songs. There's just Lonely Day is the only song I don't like. It's the only one I really don't like. The rest are just kind of, they're good. They're fine. But yeah, I guess if that's all we got for Hypnotize, my crazy score out of the way, I guess. Even though I was negative on this, it's because I hold them in such high regard in my heart. So I'm gonna be tough on them when they're not meeting what I love about them. But that being said, I still, when I put these songs on shuffle, the majority of them I still like. It's just I don't love them quite as much as the last album. So I'm gonna give it an 8 out of 10. I still like it a lot. It's just really kind of disappointing.
Respectable.
That it's not a fucking 10. You know, I'm gonna give it an 8.
Respectable.
I would personally give
Yeah.
it a 4 out of 10. Liked it ever so slightly more than Mezmerize, but like I said, I can appreciate that album more for what it is.
I think I'm going to agree with Liam for the first time. It's a high 4
damn.
for me.
Ooh,
It's
I didn't think
like
it'd
a
be
high
4.
Yeah, I didn't
high
think that
4,
either.
light 5, around
Give it
that
like a
ballpark.
6.
No, it does nothing for me. I still love a couple of songs, and that's why it is that high. But it's just boring mostly, and it's a very disappointing last album for one of my favorite artists. I tell you what, I wouldn't steal this album.
All right, well, now that we're done shitting on this album, I mean, like, look, I thought it was still good.
Yeah.
I still liked it, but you're right. I mean, I wish for an artist that was so aggressive and so, like, fucking powerful, I really wish that their career ended with a bang. I wish their last album ended with a bang, and it kind of just went out with a whimper, you know. So yeah, let's start. We'll go around and number 5 to 1. So number 5, like, I mean, it's obvious. I have Hypnotize. It's just my number 5. Yeah.
My number 5 would also be Hypnotize.
You know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna switch it. My 5 is Hypnotize as well. I respect the other album more, so yeah, it makes sense.
Number 4, even though I love it to death, I'm gonna put their debut album at number 4. I mean, it's just
Goddamn,
dude. I love it though.
My number 4 is Mezmerize. I love Mezmerize. I love Mezmerize though.
it's Mezmerize. Maybe it'll go up in the future. I don't know. Like, there's probably things about it I could appreciate, but I don't think it'll ever be like a high score for me.
Number 3, my God, I love this album so much, and it was in the top 2. It changed, and number 3, I've got Steal This Album.
Yeah, my number 3 is also Steal This Album. I love it though. It is fantastic.
Right there with your lads.
Nice.
Holy
Look at
shit.
we matched up. This is where we're not going to match up though, because my number 2 is Mezmerize.
Ooh.
I think it is their catchiest album. At this point, I've come to skip none of them. I love them all in their own way. They're so wacky, they're so off the wall, and it just sounds, it's their most fun album. To me, it's their most fun.
Yeah, my ranking changed only yesterday, because for the longest time, the number 2 that I'm about to say was always my number 1, which is the self-titled. The self-titled album is my number 2. It used to be my absolute favorite, but now it's number 2.
Number 2 for me is Toxicity. Really like it though.
It's a good little album, isn't it? It's a good little album.
Good.
Yeah, it's pretty good album. It's okay. You two can harmonize together. I'll just sit here.
3, 2, 1. Toxicity.
Toxicity.
Yeah,
Toxicity's number
masterpiece.
1.
It was only yesterday that I realized just how much it clicked with me more than the self-titled. Even though I love them both like about the same, Toxicity just does a lot more.
And it just says a lot that it's their longest album, and yet it still feels so quick and tight.
My number 1 is System of a Down.
I'm very happy that the self-titled
Hey,
is your
you know what?
favorite.
It's a banger.
That's
I love
actually like a respectable, choice. Like I said, like you could literally switch up these albums in any way, and I wouldn't think you're crazy because I do love them all that much.
it. I do really love that one. It's fucking great.
They're probably in my top 5 favorite bands right now. Like they really are. I love them so much. They're unlike anybody else. They're so unique. They're so unpredictable. They're crazy. They balance the important political lyrics with the crazy nonsensical lyrics so well. Their sound is so unique. But listener questions. That's like Serj, I guess. I don't know. I can't do a
suppose.
Serj impression. Matt's Movies. What's your go-to song from their discography?
Spiders. Yeah, it's the one I've listened to the most, I think.
It's not necessarily
Yeah.
my favorite, but Prison Song.
That and Psycho recently. I've listened to that a lot too.
I was just about to say Psycho. If I I find myself recently going back to and over Psycho, and then like maybe Radio Video or from All Right So Reviews, he asked System or Rage, who's better? And I think he means Rage Against the Machine.
I haven't
They're
heard
both
Rage.
awesome. Rage are more consistent because of their 4 albums. I love all of them. But I think I like System of a Down just a little bit more.
I think Rage is more consistent in like how they do things and their sound, which is kind of a negative for me too, because I feel like they don't experiment enough.
Oh, I
feel like they're
disagree.
kind of like
Sorry.
really. Maybe I need to re-listen to a lot of their albums because I've only heard like all their albums once years ago, so I don't remember them a whole lot. But from what I remember, it's like I can as soon as Rage Against the Machine comes on, I'm like, yeah, that's what their songs sound like. I mean,
They're more traditional new metal, but I think Tom Morello's guitar playing is extraordinary. I think he does so many cool things with the guitar, but yeah, that's a
they're
discussion for
great.
another day.
That's true. I mean, I love them too, but I just like how System of a Down is just more creative and unique to me in some ways, which is why I'll prefer them always.
Yeah.
From Film Forager, she asked, who is a better singer, Daron or Serj? Serj, and it's not even close.
What
Yeah.
kind of question is that?
I know. When I saw that question, I'm like, what the fuck? Well, last question. From Movies That Don't Suck, he asked, will we ever get a new album from them again, or Serj solo at least?
I mean,
I think
Serj
Serj
has been
Serj does his
releasing
own
stuff.
thing. Yeah.
Yeah, he'll keep doing his own stuff. I'm sure we'll get more from him, but like, I think I've lost hope in a new System of a Down album. From what I hear, it's literally like all kind of on Serj, who hasn't been wanting to make new music, but he enjoys touring still. So like, it's all on the main guy. He needs to, if his heart's not in it apparently to make new music. But I did see an interview from like 8 months ago that with him that still said like if and when we made a new album. So like the possibility, they keep throwing that possibility out there, but like it's been what, 15, like 17, I don't know how many years it's been at this point.
19.
I just
In a
19
fucking
fucking
minute.
years, dude. Like
Yeah.
it's crazy. Anyway, what's next? Recommend the next episode? Is
Yes.
that whose turn?
I believe it's Liam's turn.
It is. I've come prepared. I was in the mood for a little bit of action, honestly.
Lay it on me.
Specifically, I wanted to do an episode talking about 3 films that are 90s action movies. I've seen one of them. I haven't seen 2 of them. I'm pretty sure you've both seen at least one of them. But I'm going to recommend something we actually talked about recently, like in this episode, Total Recall. I
Oh.
do want to see that because I haven't seen it. The other one is Point Break.
Bro!
And the other one is Face Off.
I've seen them all.
I've seen them all as well, but they're honestly foggy in my brain, so I'll probably have to rewatch them.
I really want to see more like 90s action shit, and I've wanted to see those movies for a while. The only one I've seen is Face Off, and I fucking love it. It's so stupid but fun, and that's what I was in the mood
90s
for.
action can get crazy. Yeah, 90s action is crazy, so
Hell yeah.
yeah.
I think it's just
Forward
like
to
a period of time where it's like everything was just so extra, you know?
It
It
was.
was awesome.
And I was
Kinda
actually
was, yeah.
I was actually going to rewatch Total Recall the other night.
Oh, perfect.
So-
There you go.
I have it downloaded. I have Point
Wow.
Break on Blu-ray. It's looking at me right there. Right between Possession and Playtime.
You can find me at Views by Quinn on Instagram, Letterboxd, all the stuff. Just check the link tree.
Movies, music, me on most things. Check the link tree and you'll find them.
Yeah, same here. You can find me on the Linktree. I'm on the Instagrams. I'm on the Twitters. I'm on the Letterboxd. I'm on the Last FM. Stalk me, please. I'm lonely.
Yeah.
Lonely day, huh?
Kill yourself.
Such a lonely day. You'll have to add some hardcore, System of a Down type beats
Yeah.
to this ending as well.
Peace out, bitches!